I'm going to add to the Chrysler valve dilemma that a lot of people run into. I did a video a little while ago, a couple weeks ago, on the different valves that Carter offers, whether were used in Carter pumps in the 50s mostly. This particular one is from a like 51 to 53 Chrysler DeSoto's. It's an M840, and earlier I showed you these valves here and mentioned that there was a second design with 3 legs. That's this one here. Well, the customer was having a problem taking them apart, and kind of beat up on the rings a little bit. I'll show you how to get these apart with the most minimal amount of destruction as possible. Back when these valves came out, Carter or somebody came out with a tool to knock these out, and the tool was, I had a couple of them, and they were so bad that I couldn't use them. I had to come up with my own design, my own idea for knocking these things out. And if you use a thin enough screwdriver, something will fit between these 2 legs here, the 2 pieces of casting. Now if you can get down in there, right at the right spot, a few taps on either side, just work your way around it, and it will eventually pop out the valve. Now you will make little marks in it, but they're very small and they're very easy to take out. Make sure these are nice and clean, and again, hang on to that spring to give you an idea. This little spring made that dent in that. I mean, the spring isn't strong. Anyway, take a file, make sure these are nice and clean. Now the seat side, put the seat side down where the valve would sit. Just run it back and forth, and you'll take out any marks that might have been in it that you left with the using the screwdriver. That didn't take very much. Now we'll see what happens when they do the one that the customer did. Might take a little bit more than a few. If you hit this thing enough times, you'll end up ruining it to the point where you'll have to have a machine shop make you a new one out of brass. Don't worry about taking too much off of this to a certain extent. It's getting better, but there's still areas where it would leak. It wouldn't seal right. I know you don't want to see me running this thing back and forth 150 times, so I'll just finish it up and then I'll come back. Now I got it. It's about as flat as I'm going to get it. But there's still one more valve left in here. This one here. Again, we take the screwdriver, just angle a little bit, and a few taps around, and watch the copper tubing. Almost. This is what's left. This is what's left of the plate. And they destroyed the spring. It usually sits right in here. I think it sits on that little ledge that's in there. Anyway, here's another one that's not really so bad, but still it's going to need, it'll need to be flattened. Now see, there's a couple of, like that gouge right there. There's one on the other side and one a little smaller one over there. Okay, I got it. Just a little teeny spot there in it now. But it'll still seal. Now there's the 3 valves. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run them through the bead blasting tank just to clean them up. And you can tell the difference here. The height difference, so how much I had to take off. This one here was the one that I knocked out that hadn't been touched yet. And then this is the other two that the customer tried. You can see there's a little bit of a difference in the height. I had to take off quite a bit due to the gouges. But it's all good. We'll make it like new. In fact, I'll end up doing the rest of the pump. Might as well rebuild it while I'm at it. And we'll bring it back when we're all done. Okay, assembling these valves. Now that this is all cleaned up, all the surfaces are nice and flat. The assembly procedure is pretty simple. You take the spring, put it in the hole, drop the valve in there, and press in the seat. Drop in the spring, drop in the valve, press in the seat. Just make sure it's flush. Flush with the top is fine. I don't even have to say this side, because you know what it is. Now you want to make sure that everything is seated properly. Put your pulsated diaphragm on. In the top. Yeah, once you get them all screwed together. Usually you'd see reference marks that you made when you took the pump apart that would show you exactly how to line these things up. Okay, where this is the inlet, these are the two inlet valves. You should be able to blow air in through this hole, or the port if this is out of the way. And you cannot suck any air out. Like that. And the outlet port, you should be able to suck air out, but not push any air in. Like that. Valves are done. I consider these the more miserable type. This is a little bit more difficult only because it's a smaller, there's a smaller area in here. You have to use a smaller screwdriver. But same idea, just this is completely removable from the casting where this one isn't. All you can do with this is take the seat out, replace the valve plate and the spring, and put it back together after you've surfaced the other side of that valve, so the valve seat. And that's it. I'm going to put the rest of this pump together and send it back to the customer. He'll be nice and happy. He'll be able to put his car back on the road again. Any questions or anything, put them in the comment section, and maybe I'll do one on the AC valves, which are pretty straightforward, but there are a couple of different ones. Thanks for watching. You can give us a call at 781-335-8860 or on the web at then-now.com. Thanks and be safe.